From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Embattled former Congressman Matt Gaetz taking himself out of the running for Attorney General. In a social media post, Gaetz says he called President-elect Trump saying he did not want to be a distraction for the administration. His nomination overshadowed by a House Ethics Committee investigation into allegations of sexual misconduct and illicit drug use. And he faced an uphill battle to be confirmed. ABC's Jay O'Brien says it comes a day after Gaetz met with senators, including Senator Lindsey Graham.
A lot of what the senators who Matt Gaetz met said publicly is that they believed he should have a confirmation hearing. If the results of that confirmation hearing were even semi-positive, he should have a confirmation vote. They wanted Matt Gaetz to go through the typical confirmation process. Lindsey Graham put it for Gaetz to, quote unquote, confront his accusers in these allegations that Gaetz denies.
U.S. regulators asking a federal judge to break up Google and spin off Chrome in a forced sale after a federal judge earlier ruled Google had an illegal monopoly in search and advertising markets. A judge will decide. Ukraine launched missiles into Russia's Kursk region for a second time since the UK and US authorized use of long-range missiles. Sources tell ABC the missiles targeted a command center Ukrainians believed had high-ranking North Korean and Russian commanders. ABC's Patrick Reevell is in Kyiv.
This strike, using at least 10 British Storm Shadow missiles, was intended to hit this bunker where these North Korean officers were present. And, you know, North Korean troops have deployed alongside Russian forces in the Kursk region. I think it also tells you one of the reasons why the Biden administration lifted this restriction. It's because of Russia bringing in North Korea into this war in that way.
The American Farm Bureau Federation out with its annual survey on the Thanksgiving meal. This year, a traditional turkey dinner for 10 will cost $58.08, down 5% from last year. You're listening to ABC News.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I was always tired, with weekly bouts of indigestion. A friend asked me, when was the last time you did a detox? Never, I said. So she recommended Active Liver.
Our liver works hard every day to remove toxins from processed foods and unclean air and water. But too many toxins can overwhelm the liver, causing it to actually store toxins in our body fat. Low energy, brain fog, headaches, bloating, and skin irritation are all telltale signs that we need to act. Water or juice fasts can help, but often require days or weeks of feeling tired and sick. Thankfully, there's an easier way. Active Liver from New Nordic is a natural supplement that helps your liver effectively eliminate toxins on a daily basis, leaving you feeling better with more energy and less bloating.
Within a week of taking Active Liver, I was feeling better, and now I have more energy than I've had in years.
Available in both tablet or delicious gummies, you can find Active Liver online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or in stores at your local CVS or Meijer grocery.
Actor Jussie Smollett's conviction on charges that he faked a racist and homophobic attack in Chicago in 2019 against himself and then lied to police has now been overturned.
Now they have thrown out Smollett's conviction, but it does not answer the question about what exactly happened in the first place. As Smollett says, did he actually get attacked, or did he and two others lie about this?
ABC's Aaron Katursky. A criminal investigation underway in Europe after two fiber optic cables at the bottom of the Baltic Sea were cut, blocking internet traffic between Finland and Sweden and the rest of Europe.
No one has directly accused Russia, but foreign ministers, including those from Germany, Poland, and the UK, saying Moscow's escalating hybrid activities against NATO and EU countries, which they called unprecedented in scale and variety, are creating significant security risks. Moscow has denied they had any involvement, but a Danish military ship is right now tracking a Chinese-flagged vessel in the Baltic Sea they suspect may be linked to Russia and this suspected sabotage.
ABC's Martha Raddatz. Apple rolling out an emergency update, it says, to protect your devices. It's a fix for two major security vulnerabilities, which Apple says hackers have already exploited. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ortlaw for the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Thursday, November 21st. That big windstorm that slammed through western Washington Tuesday night has killed two people and left more than 500,000 without power at one point. In Linwood, a woman in her 50s killed when a tree fell on a homeless encampment. Another woman died in Bellevue after a tree crashed into her home while she was showering, according to Bellevue Fire. The storm's extreme winds toppled trees and power lines, blocked highways, and caused widespread damage. Hospitals treated multiple storm-related injuries, with still one more patient believed in critical condition in western Washington as a result of the storm. Now, both directions of Highway 112 between Nia Bay and CQ are closed due to downed trees and slides. There's no estimated time of reopening that, but that happened at the height of the storm. However, everyone's power pretty much back on in Clallam County after the big windstorm. Clallam PUD was able to restore power to the last major outages in the West End yesterday. PUD's Nicole Hartman says the problem with getting the lights back on in Nia Bay was actually getting access to Nia Bay.
Our crews couldn't get in because of trees down, and there's some mudslides apparently. But we did get access via DNR, let us in on one of their roads.
And they were able to patrol the line and get the lights back on. At the height of Tuesday night's storm, 12,000 Clallam PUD customers were without power. Olympic National Parks' Molly Pittman says the storm's effects will keep their crews busy for a lot of days to come.
So we are doing pretty okay, all things considered, but we have seen at least power outages in the Hoh, Quayluck, and Quinault areas. So right now, the Hoh, it's pretty easy to know. It's one road in and out, so that has been closed. And we're hoping to reopen that as soon as we can restore power. As you can imagine, one of the biggest impacts in the park is just debris. So a lot of trees falling in pretty much every section of the park. So we've got folks working to clean that up and also prepare for the next storm system that's coming in on Friday.
So let's talk about Friday. The National Weather Service's Logan Howard tells us it's going to be a storm, but a very different weather event. He says in a good way.
So, yeah, we'll have another low-pressure system kind of moving northwest along the Washington coast again. This one does look to be weaker than the one we saw last night. It'll be a little bit breezy, so maybe, 20 to 30 miles per hour cannot be ruled out.
Howard said the rain amounts will likely be under half an inch on Friday in this next storm. A couple more tidbits from the storm that has been. A tornado warning was issued for Pacific County yesterday after a waterspout was spotted near Tokeland, Washington. When moving northeast at about 25 miles per hour, Ian Reed, who witnessed the storm, described it as a roaring and rumbling wave action. Officials reported minimal impact since the waterspout did stay offshore. The emergency management director there advised residents to prep for severe weather by staying inside and avoiding windows. A similar warning was later issued for Grays Harbor County. Social media capturing the waterspout by Tokeland, by the way. And a lightning strike early yesterday destroyed the steeple of Saron Lutheran First Presbyterian Church, scattering debris for more than a block away during a thunderstorm in Grays Harbor County. That's in Hoquiam, where the church is located. No injuries were reported. The pastor there said the sanctuary likely avoided structural damage. The church, built in 1928 and is listed in Hoquiam's historic registry, received immediate offers of help from volunteers and contractors in the area. More news after this.
Septic Myths and Facts, Volume 3.
I use an additive to help my septic system work better.
Washington State doesn't recommend you use any additives in your system. There's no evidence that they improve the life of a septic, and some can even be harmful.
But how do I know if it's working or damaging my system?
By having regular inspections. A list of licensed inspection professionals is available at Clallam County Environmental Health's website at clallam.net/septic.
Every second matters. When you or your loved one shows symptoms of a stroke, seconds matter. At Olympic Medical Center, we've been recognized with acute stroke certification, which means we're prepared the moment you arrive with stroke symptoms. For immediate, expert stroke care, trust Olympic Medical Center is always acute stroke ready. Learn more at olympicmedical.org/stroke ready.
There's an issue cutting through the partisanship in Congress. It's AM radio. The overwhelming majority of legislators, Democrats and Republicans, support a bill to keep AM radio in cars. But time is running out. Text AM to 52886 and ask Congress to bring this bill to the floor for a vote now. AM radio is too important to let this moment pass us by.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
In other news, Clallam County Sheriff's deputies arrested a burglary suspect Tuesday night at the Higher Grounds coffee stand at 51 North Oak Ridge Drive. The business owner reported to 911 after seeing a man on surveillance cameras breaking into the stand. The suspect fled toward a wooded area before deputies got there. They set up a containment, though, and found the suspect, identified as 29-year-old Samuel Langley of Port Angeles, found about 100 yards from the scene. A trail of stolen merchandise led to his location. Investigators determined Langley forced entry into the business, causing about $4,000 in damage and stealing about $900 worth of goods, most of which were recovered. Langley was booked into the Clallam County Jail on charges of second-degree burglary, second-degree theft, and second-degree malicious mischief. Washington State Senator Mike Patton says the state is facing a public safety crisis on its roads, with traffic deaths now at a record high. Tracy Ellis has the story.
The Spokane Valley Republican says most of these fatalities are linked to drugs or alcohol, high speeds, or distracted driving, and many victims weren't wearing seatbelts.
We're a leading state as far as number of deaths per capita on our roadways. People are dying in record numbers, well over 800 last year.
Patton believes stronger laws and more law enforcement are needed. He sponsored a bill to allow officers to use oral swabs for testing impaired drivers, which didn't pass, but he hopes will be reconsidered.
The oral swabs work. They work in a number of other states. In Indiana, the number of impaired driving caused deaths was reduced by 10%.
Patton also wants the blood alcohol limit lowered from 0.08 to 0.06 and a third DUI made a felony. In Olympia, I'm Tracy Ellis.
Senate Committee on Energy and Natural Resources in Washington, D.C. yesterday passed the reauthorization of the National Volcano Early Warning and Monitoring System Act, which addresses primarily volcanoes here in Washington state and Hawaii. The state of Washington is home to 4 of the most dangerous volcanoes in the nation. This is Newsradio KONP.
Losing a loved one is overwhelming. Your mind and your heart shut down. That's where Drennan & Ford Funeral Home and Crematory comes in. They took the burden off my family's shoulders and guided us through everything we needed to do. No pushy sales tactics or unanswered questions. They just held our hands and took care of everything we asked. That's why I will always recommend Drennan & Ford for end-of-life decisions. They handle the hurt like no one else can. Call 360-457-1210.
Have you been searching and searching for anyone to install, repair, or replace your windows? What about looking for someone to install a new exterior door? And what about a skylight, or a new glass shower enclosure, or even a glass railing system? It can be hard, if not near impossible, to just get a call back. We at Hartnagel Building Supply sympathize with just how difficult it can be to get fast and dependable glass services. It's why we created our newest division, Hartnagel Glassworks. With over 80 years of combined experience, our team is ready and excited to help you on your next project. Whether it's big or small, residential or commercial, installation or repair, we can pretty much handle anything related to glass. Contact us today at 360-417-8388 or at hbsglassworks.com. Angeles Millwork and Hartnagel Building Supply, building homes, building community since 1906.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Chance for isolated rain showers this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 48. Winds out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy again tonight. Isolated rain showers likely. Lows level off around 40. Isolated rain showers likely tomorrow. 52, overcast skies. Seasonal temperatures, Saturday and Sunday, with highs in the upper 40s. Scattered showers possible both days. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 45 Monday, 45 Tuesday, and 44 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 48.
40 years and an all-time record. Good morning, I'm Jay Reynolds. It was inevitable,
and expected. And last night, UConn coach Gino Auriemma becomes the all-time winningest basketball coach in NCAA history. UConn beating Fairleigh Dickinson, and Auriemma passes former Stanford coach Tara Vanderveer for the all-time mark. As for the possibility of his record being broken at some point in the future,
the world's changed so much, the game's changing. The role of coaches is changing. I don't know that coaches are going to want to be spending 40 years doing the same thing in the environment that they're doing it in now, or they're asked to do it in now.
UConn honoring Auriemma and longtime assistant Chris Daly for their 4 decades. UConn ranked second in the nation. Top-ranked South Carolina also winning last night, beating Clemson by 32 for their 43rd consecutive win, longest win streak in program history. NBA, the Warriors beat Atlanta by 23. Golden State now 11-3. Every other time they've started a season this well, they've reached the NBA Finals. Clippers 104-93 over the Magic. Knicks beat the Suns 138-122. Cavaliers bounce back from their first loss on Tuesday. Last night they beat the Pelicans by 28. Bucks get 41 from Giannis Antetokounmpo. They beat Chicago 122-106. Houston over the Pacers 130-113. Thunder top Portland by 10. Grizzlies 117-111 over the Sixers. Philly had that team meeting this week, but still dropped to 2-12.
We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA here. This is a franchise that there's always these high expectations,
Crossover.
Despite the fact that they have not really done squat in decades, and they lead the league in drama by a lot.
ESPN's Tim McMahon in the loss. Paul George leaves with a hyperextended left knee. On the ice, Kraken shut out the Predators 3-0. Maple Leafs 3-0 over Vegas. Sabres shut out the LA Kings 1-0. College hoops, third-ranked Gonzaga by 43 over Long Beach.
In local sports, a former Peninsula Pirate basketball player is making waves on national television. Former All-NWAC guard Javon Irvin, now playing Division I basketball at the University of Mount St. Mary's in Maryland, was featured last night on Fox Sports 1 during a matchup against Big East powerhouse Georgetown in D.C. Irvin, who saw significant action in the second half, scored 5 points, including a three-pointer from the left wing. It was Irvin's second appearance on national TV this season. Meanwhile, the Peninsula Pirate women's basketball team, ranked number 3 in the NWAC now, defeated 6th-ranked Columbia Basin last Thursday in a game that highlighted 3 former Nia Bay Red Devils. Amber Swan, a 5'8 freshman guard, and Isra Ray as a 5'11 freshman forward. They now play for Columbia Basin, a perennial NWAC contender, and their former teammate, Rihanna Moss, opted to stay local. She plays for Peninsula. In the matchup, all 3 made their mark. Ray scored 7 points and grabbed 8 rebounds, while Swan added 7 points and 9 boards against Peninsula's formidable front line. Moss contributed 9 points, including 3 three-pointers, along with 4 rebounds. Swan followed up with a standout performance in her second game. She scored 21 points and collected 9 rebounds against 7th-ranked Lower Columbia College. Well, high school basketball practices are underway, and momentum from Sequim's successful football season appears to have carried over to the hardwood. The Sequim Wolves, led by third-year head coach Craig Brooks, have over 50 athletes turning out for basketball. In the Olympic League, Bremerton is the unanimous media pick to win the league title, while Bainbridge projected as a strong second-place contender. Sequim, however, may have the talent to challenge traditional powers North Kitsap and Port Angeles and could contend for a top spot in the league as well. Both North Kitsap and Port Angeles are facing significant roster turnover and enter the season with some major question marks. Now, the Wolves return a solid core of players, including Ethan Melnick, Charlie Greider, Zeke Schmadeke, Mason Rappeljay, Jamison Gray, Solomon Shepard, and Jericho Jomist. The team also welcomed back Ryan Weidman, a former Wolf who moved to Olympia in 8th grade but now has returned to Sequim. If Coach Brooks can instill a commitment to defense and some ball security, the Wolves could make a deep playoff run and could get to the Sweet 16 in Yakima this March. In high school bowling action today, the Port Angeles Rough Riders will face Olympic at 2:45 this afternoon, and Sequim hosts North Mason, the first roll at 3 p.m. Joey Decor made 24 saves for his 4th career shutout, leading the Seattle Kraken to a 3-0 win over the Nashville Predators last night in a game you heard here on KONP.
And we interrupt you with breaking news live from the Pepsi Wild Cherry aisle. Carol, can you hear us?
Steve, I've never seen anything like this. The bold, refreshing, and bursting with cherry deliciousness of Pepsi Wild Cherry is, well, let's just say everyone is getting wild.
Getting wild?
That's right, Steve. There's dancing, binge-watching, and is that a slip and slide? They're really putting the wild in Pepsi Wild Cherry, and this on-the-scene reporter can't wait to pop, lock, and drop it.
Pepsi Wild Cherry. Go ahead. Get wild.
This is Husky football.
Handoff Coleman. C. Parks. Touchdown. Intercepted. Capiculated.
Washington closes out the regular season next Saturday, looking to make it 4 in a row against Oregon.
He's going to unload to the end zone. Giles Jackson got it. Touchdown, Washington.
Catch all the action on your home for UW football, the Washington Sports Network from Learfield.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Applications for U.S. unemployment benefits fell last week to 213,000. That's the lowest level since April. But the Labor Department says continuing claims, a proxy for the number of people receiving benefits, climbed to a 3-year high. More signs of the struggling farming industry. Deere & Company expects lower than expected profits next year. The world's top farm machinery maker sees few signs that growers are ready to start buying more tractors. The sector has seen sales slump since peak levels in 2022, when Russia's invasion of Ukraine sent crop prices soaring and gave farmers more money to spend. The nation's top consumer watchdog is getting more oversight of Apple and other major tech firms that offer digital wallets and payment apps. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau will now treat those companies more like banks as long as they handle more than 50 million transactions a year. Stocks are higher, up between 0.1% and 1.25%. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's check the traffic this noon hour next. Brought to you by The Blind Store by McCrory and Leitz Farm Supply.
We've reached the time of the year when our activities change from outdoor grilling and garden parties to inside living and fuzzy warm blankets. Get cozy in your home with new blinds and window coverings from the Blind Store by McCrory in Sequim. Right now, you can cozify your home with 25% off the already affordable prices at the Blind Store. Warm up your home this season with new blinds from the Blind Store by McCrory in Sequim, the trusted name in blinds, shades, and shutters since 1958.
It's the time of year to get your equipment serviced for the winter, and Leitz Farm Supply can get you taken care of. We service everything from mowers to tractors to handheld chainsaws and weed eaters. We have trained techs to take care of any machine from handhelds to large tractors. We have competitive pricing and a quick turnaround. Call us at 452-1400 and talk to Jeremiah to get your service taken care of. Leitz Farm Supply, your local farm and equipment dealer, and so much more. Located at 259-110 Highway 101 in Sequim.
Newsradio KONP, traffic and roads.
Let's head up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center. That is where Steve's standing by. He's got an eye on the roads for us this noon hour on a Thursday. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, a little bit on the busy side if you're in the Port Angeles or Sequim area. Fair amount of traffic out there trying to make its way through town. A little slow going in spots. Coming into the Port Angeles area, Ray Street area, just a little slowdown, mostly because of volume and traffic lights. Same thing in Sequim along Washington Street and Sequim Avenue. Just a lot of vehicles out there right now. If you're on the highway between the two cities, no real problems. It is definitely busy out there, but traffic is moving along at the speed limit. If you're headed beyond that, Hood Canal Bridge currently is good to go with no scheduled marine openings. And at the moment, the Washington State ferries are running on time today. West End traffic, we're doing good out on 101 westbound. No issues out there. Still relatively light traffic out there, moving along quite well at the speed limit. Now, the road 112 going to Nia Bay, about milepost 7, is still closed. Our buses are waiting in Clallam Bay for our proper return times. So if you need transportation out there, that's where we'll be waiting in order to get you back to the Forks area. So everybody just take care. Be safe out there. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. Program note next hour on the Todd Ortloff Show. Got a lot of things lined up for you. We're going to talk about the Hurricane Ridge Education Foundation, and more specifically, their big fundraiser for every year is Winterfest, and it is coming this weekend. We'll talk about that event and what that money raised from goes to. We'll have a little bit of a talk with actor Danny Trejo and a bacon bit from Amanda Bacon coming up. And then, of course, it's our business bits as We'll welcome in our business guru, Kevin Holt, to talk a little bit about business licenses and the history of those here in Port Angeles. That's all next hour on the TO Show here on KONP.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
How many alarms do you set to wake up in the morning? If it's more than one, or maybe two as a safety net, chances are you are shortchanging your sleep. Dozing off for a few more minutes in between alarms or after hitting the snooze button feels good at the moment, but what you're really doing is fragmenting your sleep. For the last hours of sleep, people usually go in and out of the fourth and last stage of the sleep cycle known as rapid eye movement or REM sleep. Now, this stage is particularly important for memory processing and creative thinking. So, point is this: just set one alarm to maximize deep, uninterrupted sleep until you really have to wake up. Now, if you still find it hard to get out of bed when you have to, that probably means you're not getting enough sleep, which in that case, yes, you do need to go to bed earlier. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
It's Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Get a head start on Black Friday all month long with exclusive deals. Right now, get 25% off select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees just in time for the holidays. And get a free select tool when you buy a select battery or combo kit. So don't wait to save. Shop these deals in-store or online now because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/21 through 11/27 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Your home, your family, your moments. First Alert is reminding you to be prepared and install smoke and carbon monoxide alarms on every level and in every bedroom of your home. Don't forget to add First Alert fire extinguishers on every level, plus the kitchen. And know how to use them. Protection is key to help protect life's moments. And First Alert is your partner through it all. Get fire safety you can trust by visiting firstalert.com and Lowe's stores today.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. As we all work to complete our Christmas tasks, our gift buying, our packages, our letters to Santa, best we remember one very important office. I'll tell you which office after this important message.
If you've been hearing my radio programs now for the last 20 years, you know that I've been telling the true stories of those who have followed God's ways to make America the greatest nation in the world. So what's the latest? Well, we're now doing this nation-saving work full-time, and we need your help by becoming one of our ambassadors, subscribing to All We Have for just $5.95 per month. To get what? Number one, full access to our amazing website that is full of over 100 true stories to teach us with these stories how America is to act and operate. We also have lessons for all ages to teach us what we must do now. And our children, they will be our nation's leaders very soon. I will have live presentations online for you to hear, maybe even to participate. And when must this all get started? Now. Call our offices today at 817-995-6965 or go to our website at www.jerrystewartusa.com and email our office. God bless you.
I think it's safe to say that during the Christmas season, our most important office is the post office. According to statistics, today in America, our U.S. Post Office delivers hundreds of millions of letters and packages every day to over 8 million businesses and 250 million American homes. In 1775, when Benjamin Franklin became our first Postmaster General, could he have ever imagined? By the way, I do hear a lot of complaining about the mail, but don't you most always get your mail on time, delivered by a kind and friendly postal person? This Christmas, tell your postal deliverer thank you. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
For the Washington State News Network, I'm Rob Francis. Damage assessment continues in the wake of the bomb cyclone system that tore through western Washington on Tuesday. Officials say roughly 330,000 people remain without power. That's down from over 600,000 at the height of the outages. Utilities say it could take several days for power to be restored to everyone affected in the Puget Sound and the surrounding area. The bomb cyclone system has also impacted Seattle area schools as several of them remain closed today. The Seattle Times reporting that Issaquah, Renton, and Bellevue school districts remaining closed for a second straight day. 4 schools in the Shoreline School District also are remaining closed. Seattle Public Schools say they hope to open all of their schools after closing yesterday. The Washington State Patrol investigating the discovery of a body found yesterday morning near the eastbound ramp from Highway 240 to Interstate 182 in Richland. A motorist discovered the body, believed to be that of a man, while securing a load. The remains showed signs of being there for some time. The cause of death has yet to be determined. It marks the 3rd recent pedestrian incident in the Tri-Cities area involving highways. For more on these stories and others, download the WSNN mobile app. You can also visit our website, WashingtonStateNews.net.
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Another teenager fell victim to fake pills. Smells like big crime that needs to be stopped. Where are these pills coming from, and how are kids getting them? Right from under our noses, crooks are targeting kids on social media and selling them counterfeit pills that could seal their fate with a click of a button. It may seem harmless, maybe it doesn't even seem like a drug deal, but it definitely is. So before buying pills online, think about this. Should buying prescription pills be that easy? Think these pills are tested and safe? Think they're the same ones you get from a doctor? You know they're not. Did you know that many fake pills contain fentanyl? And an amount small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil can be lethal. Listen, before buying pills from social media, think again. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org and go for real. Brought to you by USPTO and the National Crime Prevention Council.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Donald Trump is reacting to Matt Gaetz withdrawing his bid to be the next Attorney General.
The president-elect said Gaetz was doing very well in seeking approval to lead the Justice Department, but at the same time did not want to become a distraction for the administration, for which he has much respect. Earlier this week, Trump said he was not reconsidering the nomination despite sex trafficking allegations against Gaetz.
White House correspondent Greg Cluxton. Also at townhall.com, U.S. Amos Hochstein envoy has arrived in Israel to continue negotiations on a ceasefire with Lebanon's Hezbollah movement after reporting additional progress during a second day of talks in Beirut.
He's expected now to meet the Israeli defense minister and the prime minister as well. There do seem to be these outstanding sticking points that he's working on. One of them is to have a supervisory mechanism to satisfy the different sides for supervising the ceasefire. And there's also this demand that Israel has made that it should have freedom of action when it comes to any violations that it sees by Hezbollah for the ceasefire agreement.
BBC correspondent Yolanda Nell. A judge has ruled the death penalty will remain a possibility for a man charged with murder and the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students. Judge Stephen Hippler was not swayed by legal arguments made by Brian Koberger's defense team to remove that as an option if he's convicted in the case. Koberger expected to stand trial next year for the November 13, 2022 stabbing deaths. Securities and Exchange Commission Chair Gary Gensler will step down from his post on January 20th. President-elect Trump had promised during his campaign that he would remove Gensler. The Dow had 529 points, the NASDAQ composite up 15. More at townhall.com.
And paid for by America First Tax Group. Attention, if you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you, but you must call 800-615-7541 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free and the help is real. Call 800-615-7541. That's 800-615-7541. Again, 800-615-7541.
It's almost becoming a regular occurrence. Correspondent Karen Chamas reports on yet another eruption of a volcano in Iceland.
A volcano on the Reykjanes Peninsula in southwestern Iceland is spewing lava from a fissure in its 7th eruption since December. Fierce and fiery lava bolted out of the 1.8-mile crack with little warning late on Wednesday. Iceland's seismic monitors said the eruption started with little warning late Wednesday and created a long fissure, but looked to be smaller than eruptions in August and May. Around 50 houses were evacuated after the Civil Protection Agency issued the alert, along with guests at the famous Blue Lagoon resort, according to the national broadcaster. The repeated eruptions over the past year have caused damage to the town of Grindavik and forced people to relocate. I'm Karen Shamas.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. NVIDIA reporting a surge in third-quarter profits and sales as demand for its specialized computer chips that power artificial intelligence systems remains robust.
For the 3 months that ended October 27th, the tech giant based in Santa Clara, California, posted revenue of $35.08 billion, up 94% from a year ago. It earned $19.31 billion in the quarter, more than double what it posted in last year's third quarter. The results topped Wall Street estimates, but investors took the results in stride.
Correspondent Jeremy House. NVIDIA's high-flying stock up 195% so far this year. Workers hired for an electric vehicle battery production complex in Kentucky have launched a campaign to join the United Auto Workers Union. The union trying to expand its foothold in the South among battery factories. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ortlaw for the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Thursday, November 21st. That big windstorm that slammed through western Washington Tuesday night has killed 2 people and left more than 500,000 without power at one point. In Linwood, a woman in her 50s killed when a tree fell on a homeless encampment. Another woman died in Bellevue after a tree crashed into her home while she was showering, according to Bellevue Fire. The storm's extreme winds toppled trees and power lines, blocked highways, and caused widespread damage. Hospitals treated multiple storm-related injuries, with still one more patient believed in critical condition in western Washington as a result of the storm. Now, both directions of Highway 112 between Nia Bay and CQ are closed due to downed trees and slides. There's no estimated time of reopening that, but that happened at the height of the storm. However, everyone's power pretty much back on in Clallam County after the big windstorm. Clallam PUD was able to restore power to the last major outages in the West End yesterday. PUD's Nicole Hartman says the problem with getting the lights back on in Nia Bay was actually getting access to Nia Bay.
Our crews couldn't get in because of trees down, and there's some mudslides apparently. But we did get access via DNR, let us in on one of their roads.
And they were able to patrol the line and get the lights back on. At the height of Tuesday night's storm, 12,000 Clallam PUD customers were without power. Olympic National Park's Molly Pittman says the storm's effects will keep their crews busy for a lot of days to come.
So we are doing pretty okay, all things considered, but we have seen at least power outages in the Hoh, Quayluck, and Quinault areas. So right now, the Hoh, it's pretty easy to know. It's one road in and out, so that has been closed. And we're hoping to reopen that as soon as we can restore power. As you can imagine, one of the biggest impacts in the park is just debris. So a lot of trees falling in pretty much every section of the park. So we've got folks working to clean that up and also prepare for the next storm system that's coming in on Friday.
So let's talk about Friday. The National Weather Service's Logan Howard tells us it's going to be a storm, but a very different weather event. He says in a good way.
So, yeah, we'll have another low-pressure system kind of moving northwest along the Washington coast again. This one does look to be weaker than the one we saw last night. It'll be a little bit breezy, so maybe, 20 to 30 miles per hour cannot be ruled out.
Howard said the rain amounts will likely be under half an inch on Friday in this next storm. Couple more tidbits from the storm that has been. A tornado warning was issued for Pacific County yesterday after a waterspout was spotted near Tokeland, Washington. When moving northeast at about 25 miles per hour. Ian Reed, who witnessed the storm, described it as a roaring and rumbling wave action. Officials reported minimal impact since the waterspout did stay offshore. The emergency management director there advised residents to prep for severe weather by staying inside and avoiding windows. A similar warning was later issued for Grays Harbor County. Social media capturing the waterspout by Tokeland, by the way. And a lightning strike early yesterday destroyed the steeple of Saron Lutheran First Presbyterian Church, scattering debris for more than a block away during a thunderstorm in Grays Harbor County. That's in Hoquiam, where the church is located. No injuries were reported. The pastor there said the sanctuary likely avoided structural damage. The church, built in 1928 and is listed in Hoquiam's historic registry, received immediate offers of help from volunteers and contractors in the area. In other news, Clallam County Sheriff's deputies arrested a burglary suspect Tuesday night at the Higher Grounds coffee stand at 51 North Oak Ridge Drive. The business owner reported to 911 after seeing a man on surveillance cameras breaking into the stand. The suspect fled toward a wooded area before deputies got there. They set up a containment, though, and found the suspect, identified as 29-year-old Samuel Langley of Port Angeles. Found about 100 yards from the scene. A trail of stolen merchandise led to his location. Investigators determined Langley forced entry into the business, causing about $4,000 in damage and stealing about $900 worth of goods, most of which were recovered. Langley was booked into the Clallam County Jail on charges of second-degree burglary, second-degree theft, and second-degree malicious mischief. Washington State Senator Mike Patton says the state is facing a public safety crisis on its roads, with traffic deaths now at a record high. Tracy Ellis has the story.
The Spokane Valley Republican says most of these fatalities are linked to drugs or alcohol, high speeds, or distracted driving, and many victims weren't wearing seatbelts.
We're a leading state as far as number of deaths per capita on our roadways. People are dying in record numbers, well over 800 last year.
Patton believes stronger laws and more law enforcement are needed. He sponsored a bill to allow officers to use oral swabs for testing impaired drivers, which didn't pass, but he hopes will be reconsidered.
The oral swabs work. They work in a number of other states. In Indiana, the number of impaired driving caused deaths was reduced by 10%.
Patton also wants the blood alcohol limit lowered from 0.08 to 0.06 and a third DUI made a felony. In Olympia, I'm Tracy Ellis.
KONP News Times, now 1242.
It's that time of the year for holiday cheer from Airport Garden Center. Don't miss festive holiday events happening all season long. This month, enjoy the Wreaths and Wine Workshop, Saturday and Sunday, November 23rd and 24th. The Airport Garden Elves have a festive afternoon planned as they guide you through the creation of your own personalized wreath while you sip on delicious local wine. You'll get all the essentials for you to create a beautiful wreath. But hurry, these workshops tend to sell out. Register online at airportgarden.biz to reserve your space. And Saturday, November 30th is Small Business Saturday. Stop by November 30th to draw your discount. Select your items and pull a chip to see your instant discount. You could score up to 100% off your purchase during Small Business Saturday, November 30th. Enjoy a festive holiday season at Airport Garden Center on Edgewood Drive, Port Angeles.
Hello, this is Amanda Huff with Swim Valley and Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapels. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about a new, exciting, and environmentally friendly development in the funeral industry. It's called natural organic reduction, or simply terramation. Perhaps you've heard of it. Terramation is a process in which the body, after death, is returned to the earth in a carbon-neutral, eco-friendly manner. The process takes place in a controlled environment, and all that remains is a natural, odorless, compost-like material. If you'd like more information about terramation and advanced planning, call us today at Harper Ridgeview in Port Angeles or Swim Valley Chapel in Swim, and one of our knowledgeable and caring funeral professionals will assist you in answering your questions. Harper Ridgeview and Swim Valley Funeral Chapels, because your loved ones deserve the best.
The magic of the season has arrived. Coastal wants to wish you and yours a happy and joyous holiday.
Coastal Farm and Ranch, just what your holidays need.
Everyday life moves pretty fast. At Coastal, we truly hope you find the time to take in the lights, sounds, and joy of the holidays. Embrace those you love. Spend more time with friends, laugh a little louder and a little longer, and truly cherish the season. Whatever it is you do for a living or live to do, Coastal is here for you. From gifts for the family to feed for your livestock, Coastal has just what you need to put a little country in your family's holiday season. Happy holidays and a prosperous new year from everyone at Coastal.
Coastal Farm and Ranch, just what your holidays need.
Shop in-store or online at coastalcountry.com.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Chance for isolated rain showers this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 48. Winds out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy again tonight. Isolated rain showers likely. Lows level off around 40. Isolated rain showers likely tomorrow. 52, overcast skies. Seasonal temperatures, Saturday and Sunday, with highs in the upper 40s. Scattered showers possible both days. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 45 Monday, 45 Tuesday, and 44 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 48.
It is 12:45 now. Let's get another check on sports. Here's Robert Workman with that.
Baseball handed out its Cy Young Awards last night to Tarek Skubal of the Tigers, the unanimous choice in the American League, and the Braves' Chris Sale in the National League. Each lefty led his league in wins, ERA, and strikeouts. That's the pitching triple crown. League MVPs will be announced tonight. NBA, the Cavaliers routed the Pelicans 128-100 a night after suffering their first loss of the season. Cleveland now 16-1. Clippers sailed past the Magic, ending Orlando's 6-game winning streak. Bucks blasted the Bulls 41 for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns combined for 70 as the Knicks eclipsed the Suns. Grizzlies got by the Sixers. Philadelphia's Paul George re-injured his left knee. Wins for the top three teams out west, the Warriors, the Thunder, and the Rockets. College basketball, number 3 Gonzaga rolled over Long Beach State. 8th-ranked Alabama, top number 25 Illinois. Women's hoops, number 1 South Carolina beat rival Clemson for its 43rd consecutive victory, a new school record. The Gamecocks have now won 85 of their last 86 games, including 2 national titles. And number 2 Connecticut whipped Fairleigh Dickinson, giving coach Gino Auriemma win number 1,217. It's the most in college basketball history, men's or women's. Hockey shutouts for the Maple Leafs, the Kraken, and the Sabres. Wins for the Hurricanes and Stars. And NFL Week 12 kicks off tonight with the Steelers at the Browns. That's Thursday Sports.
The following is a paid advertisement.
This is Church Watch, brought to you by LutherCannon.com. Hello, Clallam County. Yes, you are in my backyard, so today I'm looking out the back door. Has anyone noticed that it's getting more and more dangerous just to drive down the road? Oh, yes. Fortunately, we have 2 lanes going from Port Angeles to Sequim, so you can kind of get out of the way, cover your head, and hope for the best. Now we have people, or what's left of people, going into stores and going out with groceries or what have you without paying. Now, isn't that great? I could go on, but I only have 2 minutes, so let me say this. We have entered into a new era, or twilight zone, where traditional right and wrong has taken a back seat to personal ideology, like what's mine is mine and what's yours, well, that's negotiable, where one person believes that black is a dark color and another person believes that black is a light color, and that's supposed to be just fine because, hey, we both believe in the color black, right? Okay, so if I believe God is a spirit, and someone else believes that God is a little green man and lives on a planet called Bubba, it's okay, right? Hey, we both believe in God. Truth has become privatized, relative, subjective, abstract. If it feels good, do it. Back when things made sense, that was called chaos. Today, it's called freedom. but it doesn't change the outcome, does it? So why do we scratch our heads about what's going on? In the church today, we no longer believe in the authority of Scripture. We believe in the authority of our interpretation of Scripture. Clallam County, we can do way better than this. How about turning things around in 2025? No more armchair critics. Join the conversation. Contact us via our website at luthercanon.com. And for Church Watch, this is Gordon Haddad.
The preceding was a paid advertisement.
Tri-State Roofing is celebrating the grand pre-opening in Sequim. Tri-State specializes in more than just roofs, siding, gutters, patio covers, and doors. And the best part is, we got you covered with incredible financing. Project now and pay later, much later. Zero down payment, zero payments, and zero interest for up to 18 months on approved credit. Experience the Tri-State way. We've got you covered 24/7. Call 253-ROOFING.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. NVIDIA has recovered from today's earlier losses following an earnings report that was not as impressive as investors had hoped. But Google's parent Alphabet is seeing its shares struggle with worries the Justice Department will break up the empire. Markets are all up between 0.25% and 1.25%. The U.S. is sanctioning Russia's third largest bank, Gazprom Bank, and 50 other Russian financial institutions. The Biden administration had previously decided not to levy sanctions for fear of roiling global energy markets, but the U.S. is trying to do what it can to cripple Russia and boost Ukraine before President-elect Trump takes office. Starbucks is considering selling a stake in its Chinese operations. Sources tell Bloomberg the coffee chain has been speaking to advisors about ways to grow in China, including the introduction of a local partner. It's a move that's already been taken by McDonald's and Yum Brands, the parent of KFC and Taco Bell. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's get a last check of the noontime traffic and road conditions next. Brought to you this time out by Angela's Furniture and Olympic Medical Center.
Long live the Lazy Boy during the very busy holiday season. Huge Lazy Boy savings are going on now at Angela's Furniture. Spend football season and time with the family camped out in your new Lazy Boy. The Pinnacle Rocker Recliner is now only $7.99. Upgrade to a cushy Trooper Rocker Recliner for just $8.49. Or go big with the spacious Redwood Rocker Recliner Summit Series for $11.99. These savings won't last long, so stop by Angela's Furniture today and give the gift of comfort with the new Lazy Boy.
Dr. Sam Skovgard here, General Surgeon at Olympic Medical Center. If you've noticed a bulge beneath your skin, on your abdomen or groin, it could be a hernia. And if it's causing you pain, it's time to talk to your doctor. If your hernia requires surgery, your general surgery team at OMC is here to help. Talk to your primary care provider if you think you may need treatment for a hernia. Let's keep you healthy and hernia-free together. Learn more at olympicmedical.org/hernia.
News Radio KONP, traffic and roads.
Head up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go. That is where Steve's standing by with one last check of the roads for us this noon hour. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. It's been kind of a busy afternoon traffic-wise through the Port Angeles and Sequim area. For the most part, really not much of a challenge getting around, but there are a few slow spots getting into the downtown area of Port Angeles, also along Washington Street, Sequim Avenue there, that intersection in Sequim. If you're on the highway between the two cities, no real problems. Traffic is moving along at the speed limit. It's busy out there, but things are moving smoothly out that way. Headed out any further, Hood Canal Bridge, good to go with no scheduled marine openings. And state ferries are running on time today. West End traffic, 101 is in good shape all the way out to the Forks area. No problems, just light to moderate traffic out there. Just a reminder, 112 headed to Nia Bay is closed, so our buses are holding and Clallam Bay, and they'll be headed back to Forks at their normal return time. So just so if the people out there can find their buses, and we're doing our best. As soon as the state gets the road clear, we'll be headed back out to the Neah Bay area. So everybody take care, be safe. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Check Up on Health presented by Olympic Medical Center.
Check Up on Health with Chris Whitting.
Many people worry about losing mental sharpness as they age. And while memory does commonly start to decline after age 40, Pulitzer Prize-winning science writer Barbara Strauch found that middle age also offers some surprising benefits.
They find that actually our powers of thinking in many ways improve in places like reasoning, getting the gist of an argument, seeing the big picture. That kind of thing just continues to develop, and it peaks in middle age. When they study these large populations of people going through the more modern middle age, they find that actually the sense of well-being increases and sometimes peaks as late as 65. And the brain researchers are finding, too, that our brains actually reorganize themselves on a subconscious level and actually respond more to the positive than the negative as we age.
With Checkup on Health, I'm Chris Whitting.
Dr. Sam Skovgard here, General Surgeon at Olympic Medical Center. If you've noticed a bulge beneath your skin, on your abdomen or groin, it could be a hernia. And if it's causing you pain, it's time to talk to your doctor. If your hernia requires surgery, your general surgery team at OMC is here to help. Talk to your primary care provider if you think you may need treatment for a hernia. Let's keep you healthy and hernia-free together. Learn more at olympicmedical.org/hernia.
If you're a parent, think about this. If someone used AI to create a deepfake, realistic, photo quality image of your daughter engaged in a sexually explicit act, what would you do? What should the law do? I'm Kim Commando for Oracle. Cut your current cloud bill in half. Move to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and see if your company qualifies at oracle.com/Kim. This is not just an empty academic question. This is reality. In Pennsylvania, a male student at the Lancaster Country Day School did just this. Not just one female student, he created images of 50 girls. The school principal knew in November of last year. He did nothing until parents forced his resignation. The student was arrested, but no one is quite sure what the charges will be. Laws are written to prosecute and jail perverts who circulate real photos of kids engaged in sexual acts. But does this cover deep fakes? A new Congress convenes on January 3rd, and I can't think of a better problem to tackle. Sign up for my free newsletter at getkim.com. Even if you think it's a bit overhyped, AI is suddenly everywhere, from self-driving cars to molecular medicine to business efficiency. If it's not in your industry yet, it's coming fast. But AI needs a lot of speed and computing power. So how do you compete without costs just spiraling out of control? Time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. It's a blazing fast and secure platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, plus all your AI and machine learning workloads. OCI costs 50% less for computing and 80% less for networking. Thousands of businesses have already upgraded. Oracle is offering to cut your current cloud bill in half if you move to OCI. Offer ends December 31st, 2024. See if your company qualifies for this special offer at oracle.com/Kim. That's oracle.com/Kim, oracle.com/Kim.
Artistic expression is not something you should give up on after childhood, especially if you want to take care of your mental health. I'll tell you more after this.
Bioptimizer's Black Friday blowout sale is now. For 20 years, Bioptimizers has provided top supplements like Magnesium Breakthrough, the only product with all 7 types of magnesium to support sleep, stress management, hormone balance, and mood. Make your health a priority this holiday season and visit bioptimizers.com/radio and use code RADIO to get a minimum of 10% off and up to $100 in free gifts with purchase. Go to bioptimizers.com/radio and use code RADIO today.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
There's a robust body of evidence beginning to show that incorporating artistic activities into your regular routine can have a serious benefit for your mental health. Things like singing, dancing, painting, drawing, really anything can boost your creativity and your mood. These types of activities can also help refine your fine motor skills and offer a different way to practice mindfulness. Data has shown that participating in artistic activities stimulates connections within the brain known as neural plasticity. Making art increases blood flow to the brain, lowers levels of the stress hormone cortisol, and can boost our mood. Crayons, anyone? With Your Body, I'm ABC's Dr. Jennifer Ashton.
The Co-op Farm and Garden in Sequim is ready to keep you warm with wood pellets for your pellet stove. Wood pellets are clean burning, safe for the environment, and give you high BTU output with less ash, i.e., hotter, more efficient nights and less waste. Buy a bag or buy a ton of Lignetics or Pack Saddle pellets, because the Co-op Farm and Garden offers delivery. Shop local, shop warmth, shop the Co-op Farm and Garden in Sequim.
There is nothing more exciting than hearing a story about someone who beat the odds, someone like a Hank Aaron, or a Steve Jobs, a Dolly Parton, or even an Arnold Palmer or a Merle Haggard. Someone who said, I will not give up on my dreams. We've got plenty of those stories to share, underdog stories, about an underdog country. I'm Lee Habib. Join me in Our American Stories each day, right here.
Weekdays from 8 to 10 p.m. and Sunday afternoons from 1 to 3.
News, sports, and information for the North Olympic Peninsula. We're News Radio KONP, Port Angeles, Sequim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz has taken himself out as the nominee for Attorney General. Gaetz was facing backlash over allegations of sexual misconduct and illicit drug use while he served in Congress. Allegations he denies, but were part of a Republican-led House Ethics Committee investigation. Some Republicans now voicing relief over Gaetz removing himself as the nominee. Senator Lindsey Graham thanking Gaetz for his service.
As to what President Trump will do next, we will see, but I am committed to helping him where I can. I will not be a rubber stamp to his nominees, but I will also not engage in a angry mob mentality.
Democratic Congressman Sean Casten says he's not withdrawing his resolution to force the release of Gaetz' ethics report, saying Republicans have done the same, and the American public has the right to see the taxpayer-funded report. Another one of President-elect's picks, Fox News host Pete Hegseth to be defense secretary, is meeting with GOP senators today. Hegseth is also pushing back on sexual misconduct allegations dating back to 2017. Allegations he denies. After weeks of searching for a man who faked his death on Wisconsin's Green Lake, the local sheriff has an update.
Sheriff Mark Podol.
The great news, we know that he's alive.
But
the bad news is we do not know where Ryan exactly is.
Ryan Borgward.
And he has not yet decided to return home.
The deputies in daily contact saying Borgward's somewhere in Eastern Europe. Through a Russian-speaking contact, he sent a video proving he's alive.
Safe, secure. No problem.
Facing state obstruction charges for faking his death, the sheriff says Borgwald has unspecified personal issues.
ABC's Chuck Sievertson. The International Criminal Court issued warrants for Israel's prime minister and former defense minister, accusing them of war crimes against humanity in Gaza. The ICC also issued a warrant for Hamas commander. Israel's prime minister pushing back, saying the decision is a black day in the history of the nations. You're listening to ABC News.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office.
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
Count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Two products from Walmart's bakery now being recalled.
Walmart's Great Value brand cinnamon rolls and cheese Danish are being recalled because they could have plastic in them. They were distributed to Walmart stores nationwide. Over 40,000 packages of them went out. The FDA is classifying it as a Class 2 recall, which means the product may cause medically reversible adverse health consequences. If you have them at home, toss them or bring them back to Walmart.
ABC's Alex Stone. The CDC says COVID vaccination rates are slightly higher this year than the same time last year. The data shows COVID activity is stable or declining in most areas. He has officially won more basketball games than any other college coach in history.
The University of Connecticut women's basketball team handily beat Fairleigh Dickinson on Wednesday night, making Hall of Famer Gino Auriemma
the all-time winningest coach in the history of college basketball.
The call on Learfield. This is Auriemma's 40th season coaching the UConn women. He tells ABC News there's no way he did it alone.
I was fortunate to have that many people there that were just so instrumental, all these iconic players.
Number of wins, 1,217. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Thanksgiving dinner may be a little cheaper this year as the price of turkey is down by 6%. The American Farm Bureau Federation says the cost of feeding 10 people will average $58 or $5.80 per person, down from last year.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
With fall upon us, let's talk power outages. Hi, this is Clallam PUD, and we have a few tips to help you as we enter storm season. Get prepared now by checking your flashlights and purchasing extra batteries. Stock up on non-perishable food and water. Have a plan for any medical devices that require power or medications that need refrigeration. If your power does go out, first check your breakers. If they're okay, then report the outage to us by phone or by using our Smart Hub app on your mobile device. Visit clallampud.net for updates, to view our current outage map, and for tips and resources on outage preparation and safety.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results, 457-6600. Power finally fully restored after Tuesday's windstorm knocked out service to 12,000 Clallam County PUD customers. Access delays with the closure of Highway 112 into Nia Bay kept PUD crews at bay. They finally were able to get in and resolve the outages by getting back road access using some DNR logging roads. Meantime, that deadly bomb cyclone that hit western Washington over Tuesday night has left 2 people dead. A woman was killed at a homeless encampment in Linwood. Another killed when a tree crashed into her home in Bellevue while she was taking a shower.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Chance for isolated rain showers this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 48. Winds out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overcast skies again tonight. Isolated rain showers likely. Lows dip down to about 40. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow. Isolated rain showers likely. Daytime highs approaching 52. Temperatures near average Saturday and Sunday with highs in the upper 40s. Scattered showers possible both days. Take a look at the extended forecast. 45 Monday, 45 Tuesday, and 44 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, it's 48 degrees.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
All right, welcome once again to the program. If you look up in the hills, a little bit of snow's been falling up there, and I know that makes my first guest excited about things because it means perhaps there's going to be a lot of skiing coming this year up at Hurricane Ridge. And we're going to talk about the group that runs all of what goes on up there, as well as a big fundraiser that helps pay for a lot of what's going to be happening up there at the Ridge this weekend. So Danielle Lawrence joins us with the Hurricane Ridge Winter Sports Foundation Club, whatever we want to. What do you guys officially call it now? Is it Foundation now?
Yes.
Education Foundation, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
All right. And with that, though, is a lot of things that get funded through it that make it a fun destination up at Hurricane Ridge. but it does cost money. And every year they put on a terrific celebration of the season, if you will. Winterfest. It always comes right before Thanksgiving, so it's the pre-Thanksgiving Thanksgiving, and it's this weekend. So Danielle's here to talk all about that. Maybe we'll talk a bit about what's going on with the Ridge, too. So it's good to see you, Danielle.
Yes, nice to see you, too.
So let's talk about this Winterfest, which is coming up on Saturday. This has been going, 23 years? 20, longer than that, maybe? I don't know.
I think it's closer to 30.
Okay.
However, it was very humble beginnings with a backyard barbecue out at the lake.
There you go. So it has not always been the spectacle, and I mean that in a good way, that it has become. This Saturday is at the Vern Burton Center. So what do you got planned up there, and why should folks come to this?
Yeah, well, the funds from tomorrow, Saturday's evening will go to support winter sports education. And some of the programs that we're already providing include 4th and 5th graders ski for free, and 4th graders get free ski lessons, and also children 12 years of age and under can ski on the bunny toe for free. And we're looking to expand those programs, particularly now that we are an education foundation 501c3 charitable group.
All right, so from its humble beginnings as a barbecue at Lake Sutherland to what this is, tell us what the event is. If someone's never been to Winterfest, describe what they'll find on Saturday night.
Yes, so you are going to find an oyster bar that we do with oysters donated from Jamestown Seafood, Upper Valley charcuterie boats for appetizers, over 150 silent auction items, about 20 live auction items, variety raffle, and $1,000 cash raffle sponsored by First Fed.
All right, and it's meant to be a fun evening. I mean, you keep this pretty light.
Very much so. It is jeans and flannel shirts, trucker hats, very casual. We've got a great no-host beer and wine garden, and a nice selection of beverages for you, and it's a really fun time. You will run into a lot of people who you know.
Right, and you have the place all decked out and ready to go for the event too. Tickets are still available. You can get them now, right?
Yes, you can. You can purchase tickets at hurricaneridge.com, and tickets in advance are $75, but tickets at the door, which will go on sale starting at midnight, the night before, those are $95. Okay. And the other option you have is to purchase a community table, which is the
get
real...
your friends together and
exactly.
Do it, and you save some bucks and you can have your own table at this event, right?
Absolutely. And not only do you save $5 a head per ticket, but you also will get community, or I should say public recognition with your name on the table and also in the slide deck that will play throughout the evening.
Excellent. You can sign up at hurricaneridge.com for that as well, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm imagining still tables available?
Absolutely.
Very good. This has been, as you mentioned, I mean, this has gone on for 3 decades of time. It obviously has been a successful event.
Yes.
Over the years, mainly because I think at the time of the year it comes, it's kind of a holiday spirit sort of thing as well. But I think it also is because there's a lot of support in the community for what you all do at Hurricane Ridge. Because even though, I mean, you're unique, you're running a ski operation in a national park, and you're doing it basically on volunteer hours.
Yes, we have a few paid employees up at the Ridge, but our organization is run by volunteers, and we all put a lot of time and effort into ensuring that we have winter sports up there. And fortunately, we are grandfathered into the Olympic National Parks program, so we don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon.
Got it. I have to ask, with the lodge going away in the last couple of years, last year, there were facilities up there for you to use, so it changed things, but how has it been?
Yes, so...
If you get the weather to cooperate, that's the other part of it.
Yeah, exactly. If we could get the weather on board, we'd really be in great shape. But I tell you, this year, the weather is looking very favorable. And so if all goes well, we perhaps might be open December 8th.
Which is early, really, isn't it?
Yes.
Considering what it has been mostly, and you've squeezed in if you were lucky, a couple of weeks, it seems like, and that was about it. For folks who've not been up there since the lodge is no longer there, how do you... What is there for folks? How do you keep them out of the element, so to speak? And I know you have to kind of tell people to plan for this differently, perhaps.
Yes. So there are no equipment rentals at the summit. Also, there's no food or beverage, so you need to pack lunch and hot cocoa accordingly. Also, there's no warming hut, so you want to be thinking about using your car to keep warm. And you can also take the shuttle. Olympic Hiking Co. has a shuttle that goes up, and it is very nice, very spacious. They keep the heater on, so you can use that as a warming area, and that is very nice. There are lovely bathrooms that the park put in, so you do have that, but I will say that the water is not potable, so definitely bring your own water.
Right. But you got skiing there, and that I remember when the lodge went away, there was a big angst, if you will, about whether or not you'd even be able to operate. So that's always good news. What does it take to run that operation in a year? I mean, not budget-wise. I mean, you got to pay for fuel. You have to run the motors, the engines that run the tows, all of that.
Yeah, our expenses are somewhere around $150,000 to $160,000 a year.
Which, is a bargain compared to a commercial operation, I suppose. But again, it's because of all of the volunteers that you have as well. What does it cost to once we get up there? What will it cost if we want to ski? If you're outside of those free things you mentioned.
Sure. Yeah. So it is $22, I believe, for the bunny, $24 for tubing. The Palma is $57, and I believe the intermediate is $49.
Okay. And those will, you'll go to hurricaneridge.com for info on all of that, too, as the time comes. So I imagine there's a theme there. Your website has it all.
Our website does have it all.
All right, back to Winterfest. It's a fun event. What do you like most about it? You've been involved with this organization forever.
Yes. I would say what I love is the community spirit that Winterfest brings. You get a lot of people that you don't get to see all the time, all in the same room, and it's just so nice to see so many familiar faces, and just the camaraderie of the community and others in the ski industry pulling together to make our operations on the hill a success.
And I imagine there's a little bit of info that at this you'll find out about what's going on with the organization too, right?
Yeah. Yes, we have several events coming in the future. Right. Shredding with Santa. Santa's shred schedule will be on our website. We also have an ice rink takeover, which will be December 20th, along with a showing of Calm Beneath Castles, which is the latest Matchstick Productions film at Field Hall on January 16th.
All right. You did very good keeping on. You're running those off in your mind to make sure you didn't miss one. But this kind of starts off a series of things. And then in the midst of all of that, there'll be skiing up there that you'll all be taking in on the weekends. We're hoping every weekend right through the holidays into the spring of next year.
Yes.
That'd be a nice change for you guys, wouldn't it?
That would be wonderful. We would love that.
All right. Winterfest, though, is the first thing, and that is coming up this weekend. And if you haven't been there, and it's cash, as you mentioned, I think it's appropriately casual because that's how Hurricane Ridge is as far as a ski operation. It's meant to be a casual sort of not uptight resorty sort of thing that you might run into in other places. That's why a lot of people come there.
Exactly. It's really nice, and the price point for many of the silent auction items along with the live auction are really not that expensive. So if you have $100 extra in your pocket, you can play. Mm-hmm. There are things that you can walk out with for less than $100.
There
And
you
that's
go.
really nice.
Yeah, no kidding. Because sometimes you go to these and it's like, well, I don't have a few thousand, but I got a couple hundred. Okay. Good luck this weekend. I'll tell folks, get over to hurricaneridge.com, get your tickets, buy a table, get your friends together, have a fun time. It's a terrific. What's the dinner? Tell us a little bit about the dinner.
Yes,
I forgot to ask you about that.
Yes, the most important part, of course. So Michael of Cocopelli Grill is going to be doing the dinner. We're going to have poblano chicken, pork loin that I believe he's going to smoke, ratatouille, roasted potatoes, his salad with pickly pear vinaigrette. So the food's going to be excellent.
Yeah.
And that's something that we always pride ourselves on. So
And that's in the ticket price.
absolutely. You definitely could not go to Cocopelli and have that dinner for two at $80 a pop. So it's definitely a good deal.
All right. And you do have a bunch of sponsors that help with this on. I don't know if you want to mention some of those folks, but
absolutely.
you can't make this happen without them.
Yes, I would love to thank D.A. Davidson for sponsoring the desserts, Cocopelli Grill for the food, Upper Valley Charcuterie for the appetizers, Jamestown Seafood for the oyster bar, First Fed for the cash raffle, Olympic Electric for sponsoring the ad in the Peninsula Daily News. I think that's about it
I
at the
was just
moment.
looking at your list. I think you got them.
Yeah, those were the big ones. And I just want to put a plug in for the Girl Friday show tomorrow. There's a rumor that there might be 2 tickets that will be given away on the Girl Friday show.
All right. So at this time tomorrow, the girls may have an opportunity for you to go on us or on you or for free. How about that? Very good. All right, Danielle, it's always great to talk to you. It's fun to get the season rolling. This is the kickoff, really, of a ski season. I always think of it that way. So, and we invite folks to check out hurricaneridge.com and even donate. It's a nonprofit, so you can get a tax deduction on this now, too.
Yes, you can. And you can do that without having to sign up. You can just go to the hurricaneridge.com page, and then that will take you to the Winterfest page, and from there you can make a donation.
Make a donation. All right. Well, good luck as you get the season rolling, and let's keep our fingers crossed for lots of, I don't want to say lots of snow. You want appropriate snow. How's that? Is that a better way to put it? Because you can get too much snow and not get up there as well. So.
Absolutely.
All right. Danielle Lawrence, she's with the Hurricane Ridge Education Foundation. They are behind Winterfest. It is this Saturday at the Vern Burton Center. Doors open up at 5. The event gets rolling at 6. It's a fun evening, and they raise a whole bunch of money. And you could be part of it, too. Just go to hurricaneridge.com to get your tickets. And we'll take a break and be back with more in just a moment.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
You have a neighborhood auto parts store in Sequim ready to help. Such as when you're getting your trailer set up for the season, rely on A1 Auto Parts and Marine to keep your outdoor adventure on the road. Trailer brakes, axles, bearings, even a hydraulic hose fix. A1 Auto will custom make hydraulic hose while you wait. Find the experts at A1 Auto Parts and Marine to help keep your Northwest adventure moving.
Did you know that college does not just mean 4-year degrees from big universities? Peninsula College offers programs ranging from welding to early childhood education with a focus on getting you into an in-demand job after graduation. Need help funding this next step? Contact United Way of Clallam County's Student Financial Aid Liaison at tinyurl.com/United Way Financial Aid to get help finding funding that's right for you.
Hi, this is Tristan with Tri-State Roofing. We are celebrating the grand pre-opening in Sequim. We specialize in roofs, siding, gutters, patio covers, and doors. The best part? We got you covered with incredible financing. 0 down payment, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 18 months on approved credit. Experience the Tri-State way. We've got you covered 24/7. Call 253-ROOFING or tristate.pro.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
Hey kids, it's me, Santa. Get ready, cause I'll be in town for the 17th annual KONP Breakfast with Santa on Saturday, December 7th. Enter to win a chance to have a yummy breakfast served up by the elves of Kokopelli Grill, while I hand out fantastic toys, all brought to us by our presenting sponsors and very good boys and girls at Peninsula Bottling, Olympic Game Farm, Olympic Peninsula Title, and Leeds Farm Supply. Ho, 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 ho. Here's Rhonda, a reindeer in training, to tell you more.
Thanks, Santa. Adults enter your child age 8 and under to win 4 tickets to the Breakfast with Santa at the Port Angeles Senior Center. All winners will be notified by December 2nd. Doors open at 8 a.m. with yummy breakfast at 8:30. Enter now, because Santa's on his way.
In Port Angeles, enter your child's name at Hartnagel Building Supply, Angelus Millwork, and Angelus Rentals.
Get ready for the holidays with a gift from Swain's. From Wednesday, November 20th through Friday, November 22nd, if you spend $75 or more, you'll receive a $15 gift card. Yes, you heard right. You only have to spend $75 and we'll give you $15 back in a gift card. What better way to stuff a stocking this Christmas? Get some major holiday shopping done November 20th, 21st, or 22nd and get a $15 gift card. Only at Swain's.
And welcome back to the program. I'm going to spend the next segment with our weekly Bacon Bit. That's when our own Amanda Bacon gets a chance to sit down with some famous folks and chat about what they are up to these days. Many people big fans of Danny Trejo, who's been in so many Hollywood films, Desperado, as well as Heat, From Dusk Till Dawn, Spy Kids, a whole lot. He's also in the new animated movies, one of the voices in Gracie and Pedro. That was out in about 3 weeks ago in theaters. And Amanda had a chance to sit down with Danny and chat a little bit about what he has been up to these days. Let's take a listen.
Danny, hello.
How are you? Great smile.
It's because I'm talking to you.
Thank you.
You know what's so funny is I was watching 6 Days, 7 Nights with my mom the other day, and I was like, I think that's Danny Trejo in the background. Am I right?
Yes. Yes, I played
and
one of
the next day is when this came out and said, interview availability, and I was just like, that's crazy. I just said his name.
Meant to be. Where are you at?
So we're talking about your new, what was that?
You're in Seattle.
Yeah, over here in the PNW.
Yeah.
You ever get over here?
Every once in a while. I used to have a friend up there that moved.
Well, come on up anytime. I'll show you around.
God bless you. Thank you.
We're talking about Gracie and Pedro, which is a cute little animated film that's coming up. And tell me about your involvement in this and what it's like voicing an animated character.
Well, what I try to do is if I do a killer film, a lot of times I got to tone down and I'll do a comedy or something. So we did a movie called Seven Cemeteries with zombies and murder and mayhem. And then I did the Gracie and Pedro. And that was just such a fun movie. It's the voiceover, but I love the script, and I love the fact that anybody, take any kid to see it, they're going to love it. Yeah.
So what's it about?
Well, it's kind of like a buddy movie, but they don't start out as buddies. It's a puppy and a cat, and they don't like each other, and the cat's an alley cat. The puppy's like an opera, hoity-toity, very pampered, and they get lost, and so they're helping, they're fighting each other all the way. The goldfish is like the voice of reason, but he's a smart aleck. It's not like he gives everything with a kick, and so you find out that everything works better together. That's kind of the message,
Sure.
The messages and the people we got in it at Silverstone, and it's amazing,
Yeah, I was looking at that cast, and that is an impressive cast. Susan Sarandon is in it.
Yeah. And
yeah. So what are you most excited for people to see about this? I mean, what do you hope people take away?
Well, first of all, I think they're going to like me more.
Danny, just so you know, I already freaking love you, so it's going to be hard to like you more.
And it's just such a fun movie, and it's kind of a movie that you can take your kids and you're going to enjoy it. You know, it's like I hate to go to, like, when my kids were little, I hated to go to a movie that was just, but it was a cartoon, they loved it, you know. So and this is like, you know, the whole family's going to love, and like I said, it's like I liked making it. I knew it was going to be good just when I read the script, you know, and you're going to have a lot of fun at the movie. So it's going to be a really good experience. So far, everyone that's seen it has kind of said, oh, God, it was awesome, you know. So
Well, tell me about your character in the movie. I mean, are you also a voice of reason? Because I feel like anything you would say, I would listen to.
I am the voice of reason, but a smart aleck. You know, it's like, you got to cut through all the smart aleck to get the reason. And I've got these huge teeth. I'm a goldfish that looks like a piranha. And they took away my machete, you know. So they took away my machete and gave me these teeth. But it's like I'm a lovable character, so that's kind of cool, you know.
I love it. What is it like going? I mean, I'm thinking Con Air is another one of my all-time favorite movies. Yeah. And thinking of your character in that, as opposed to a lovable goldfish with big teeth. I mean, what is it like mentally going from such extreme roles?
Yeah. Well, mentally, I have to do it. It's because if you go to where you have to go to do a Con Air, you know, you have to tap into that history that you have. Well, you got to be able to get out of that some kind of way. So what I'll do mostly is, like, if I do a film that's like that, Murder Man, then as soon as the director says cut, I got to hold a puppy or something, you know. Just to make sure I get out of that genre, you know.
What leads me to this question is, what is something surprising that people would learn about you that they might not know? I mean, because I feel like we all have this image of you as this big, scary, tough dude because you play it so well. But what's something that we wouldn't know about you?
You know what? It's like, I don't know. I work with autistic children because I love them. I like special needs kids because they got a lot more to deal with than I do, you know. And it's funny. I was when I was in junior high school, they put me in a special class called social adjustment, and by they started it really for me, and by the end of the month, they had about 20 kids in there, and we were all like the bad kids, and we all stayed in one room, and working with autistic children, I found out that in the 50s, everybody in that classroom was on the spectrum somewhere, but nobody knew what autism was. Then, you know, we were just bad kids, uncontrollable. And it's so funny is now that I've worked with children with autism, and I remember telling my daughter that, well, I would never had autism. Dad, we love being with you because you were the perfect ADD specimen. You couldn't sit still for 20 minutes. You know, it's come on, let's go somewhere. Let's do something, you know. And I have a tattoo on my back that it's funny because it's all my kids, my 3 kids, they're in the beach and they're doing it. Because I remember we were going to school on a Friday. I was driving them to school. It's a beautiful day. I mean, this is not a school day. It was and I said, no. You know what we're going to do? What? Today's a beach day. And I've got these 3 kids running into a wave. I was already in, and I took a picture of these 3 kids so happy I mean, you could not have bought this. You know, they were just like, so yeah,
Yeah.
And when I put, they've never forgotten that day. You know, and Dad cut school with us. You know,
The best. It's the best. Danny, you are such a delight, and I am so honored to have spent this time with you. Like I said, I'm a big fan. I just love your work, and I am really excited for people to see your new movie, Gracie and Pedro, and hear you as the voice
get
of
to Los
reason.
Angeles, you just stop at Trejo's Cantina or Trejo's Tacos and tell them to call me, and I will meet you. And there's also 7 Cemeteries and 1521, the movies that I've done that are coming. 7 Cemeteries is amazing.
I will hopefully get to chat with you about that again, too, because you're just a delight.
Awesome.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
It's the Fa La La Llama Christmas Bazaar and Swap Meet this weekend. Trot down to the Squim Lodge Saturday and Sunday for the Christmas Bazaar, benefiting the Olympic Peninsula Alpaca Rescue. Take holiday photos with an alpaca or llama. Shop for fabulous holiday items like handmade local fiber products. There's also a silent auction, raffle, and delicious bake sale. The Fa La La Llama Christmas Bazaar, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. this weekend at Squim Lodge.
For the Washington State News Network, I'm Rob Francis. City council members in Seattle split on a new proposal to create a capital gains tax at the city level. The council voted 4-4 Tuesday on council member Kathy Moore's proposed legislation. It would enact a 2% tax on capital gains over $262,000 a year in Seattle and would not apply to retirement funds or real estate. The proposal is expected to advance to a full council meeting without a pass recommendation. That 2% would be on top of the state's already existing 7% capital gains tax. The Spokane Regional Health District reports that Spokane County could set a record for the number of drug overdose-related deaths this year. 84% of those deaths linked to opioids, and the drug fentanyl the leading cause. And a disgruntled student in custody after reportedly leveling threats against the Kashmir School District. The 14-year-old was previously accused of a sex crime, according to Chief Ryan Moody of the Chelan County Sheriff's Office. On Tuesday, the suspect allegedly grew belligerent and made unspecified threats. A third party tipped off the school resource officer. The threats were apparently vague but consequential enough to merit felony-level charges. For more on these stories and others, download the WSNN mobile app. You can also visit our website, WashingtonStateNews.net.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Chance for isolated rain showers this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 48. Winds out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overcast skies again tonight. Isolated rain showers likely. Lows dip down to about 40. Cloudy skies expected tomorrow. Isolated rain showers likely. Daytime highs approaching 52. Temperatures near average Saturday and Sunday with highs in the upper 40s. Scattered showers possible both days. Take a look at the extended forecast. 45 Monday, 45 Tuesday, and 44 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, it's 48 degrees.
Well, it is Thursday, and Thursday's the last segment dedicated to our Business Bits segment, and that's where our business guru, yes, Kevin Holt himself, joins us on the microphone in the studio to talk about some things that are related to business, working in a business, going to a business, or just being aware of a business.
It's all about business here on Friday Eve. That's right.
And today it's about business licenses, and we'll talk about our colorful past. Now, we've been talking a lot about business licenses. In fact, yesterday I talked with the mayor a little bit about this rather controversial subject. If you didn't know, starting next year at some point, they haven't quite set the date that it begins, the city of Port Angeles will be requiring business licenses for the
That's
first
right.
time. Well, for all businesses for the first time in a long time. We'll get to that rest of the story in just a moment. So
Very good.
let's talk about that because you hinted at this last time you were on.
Fair warning. That's right. Well, as reported by our own percipient Pepper Fisher, general business licenses are here, and as the mayor told us yesterday, and people are talking. What I think some people learned during the mayor's interview is that we always had business licenses for some businesses, and also for some businesses they don't want. So we'll talk about that a little later. But as heard here on KONP, the nonprofits and businesses with revenue under $25,000 a year will get a general business license, for free. All other businesses will pay $190 each year is the current rate. They haven't quite made up their mind yet. The city estimates the Port Angeles licenses could bring in about $200,000 per year. And the city told us that it will use some of that money to improve services. The plan is to hire a full-time downtown resource officer, as you probably heard yesterday, and a homelessness navigator. Now, some people who aren't bureaucrats might say, okay, well, gosh, there's a business license fee now. And I would say, well, no, actually, it's a business license tax, because there's a difference between a tax and a fee. According to the way the city has proposed the cost of the license and the use of the funds, hiring navigators and things like that, we will be paying a license tax. A tax is a mandatory financial charge imposed by a government to fund public services. A tax has thresholds like sales, revenue, income, or assessed value. So you are paying a license tax. Most cities charge a license fee. A fee is charged or imposed by a government for a specific service or benefit provided to the payer. For reference, Sequim charges a $56 fee. Bellevue, a slightly larger city, charges a $100 fee, and Olympia keeps it at $50, probably because the legislators like to keep the prices down.
So let me get this straight. Port Angeles is going to have the most expensive of most places for it.
That's true. I guess they're going to cut a fat one, as they used to say on the farm, and get their big bunch in first. Of course, they have to hire all those people they're talking about, and people are very expensive. In fact, they're generally 84% of any municipal or government pay or cost basis. So there are two sides to this. It's fun to pick on the city, but our city, I think, correctly emphasizes that the goal isn't just to raise revenue. There really is an urgent need to collect data on the makeup of our city's business community. I can tell you this from experience, and it's something we've been sorely missing. At our Small Business Development Center, I worked with several local elected officials trying to learn more about our business community. And in that effort, we tried a variety of strategies to get information about local businesses from the state. And there were comments about, well, if I have to get a business license and confidentiality, and will my privacy be protected? Well, it sure is. We were turned away every time.
Yeah, the state wouldn't give it to you if you asked.
Okay. And we tried revenue, we tried commerce, we tried going through a university, we tried everything. And they just said, if you don't issue licenses, you will not get any information from us. So you can kind of see they have
So the license is really the gate point, I guess, to do this.
The price of
you
admission.
Got a license? We can give you that information now.
We would then be a licensed partner. There's a state license everybody has to get. And then if you want to be a licensed partner and issue a city license, then you become part of the big family of people collecting data about their businesses. And again, several of our local officials were really disappointed that Sequim had all this data about what businesses they have and what are new businesses, what businesses are closing, things like that, who didn't renew their business license. We don't have that information, and we can't get it from anybody. So as Todd alluded to when we discussed this earlier, cities really need this information, and it's probably boiled down to about three big places. First is planning. Cities are required to present varieties of planning documents. We've all heard about it. The city's putting together this plan, that plan. And they have to submit this to the state to continue to be recognized as a municipality. Otherwise, they lose their certification. So having precise business information really improves the quality of these planning reports and gives them a lot more authority when they're talking about what's going on in their community. Makes it possible to perhaps move some state issues forward. The legislators will probably have a little bit more leverage in getting things
if
our
you
way.
can show them data that this is
Yeah.
happening in a okay.
That's right. And in other forms of funding, this is also super important. Let's say, for example, a city is materially underserved in a certain sector, and maybe this is due to an infrastructure problem. So our elected officials can go to agencies like the Economic Development Administration. We've got a big sign down at the port right now. EDA is giving us some money to fix that up. And they do this a lot. When I worked up in Whatcom County, the town of Sumas had an opportunity to develop a freight transfer location in their town because Canadian trucks can carry much more weight than trucks that travel in the United States. But in order to bring those Canadian trucks into Sumas to offload them, to break them down to smaller loads, they have to have something called a haul road, which is a giant, super heavy-duty road that these heavy trucks can travel on. So the EDA wrote a check for it. And they have a wonderful cross facility there where there's rail, there's truck, and they can move these Canadian loads much more efficiently. Made a big difference to Sumas. They've been brutally flooded during all these storms, but
yeah.
Yeah. And boy, I'll tell you, you read the news today, we're so lucky up here.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of thousands of people on the I-5 corridor still suffering. People were killed by falling trees. We got off pretty easy. So those funding opportunities are much easier to participate in when you've got this business information. Least popular, but still important, is regulatory support. City licenses make code enforcement and other city responsibilities much more responsive. And, when you're being enforced against, you don't like that so much. Mm-hmm. But if you're the business next to the business that needs some enforcement, you like that a lot.
You love it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's and none of us want people dumping old paint into the storm drains and things like that. So when you've got that information, you can do a little bit better job for your community. Now, Pepper also reported, and probably the mayor as well, that businesses like these recently famous short-term rentals and bed and breakfasts are exempt from the general business license because they already have a specialty business license. And I think a lot of people kind of scratched their head and went, what?
But what?
Yeah.
Why?
We don't have business licenses here. Many people did not know that we had a panoply of specialty business licenses for many years, and I have the list right here. I feel like this list breaks down into two parts. First are the specialty licenses for businesses that really do need some special consideration. For example, ambulance license. They have to show that they can do certain medical care and they dispatch in a certain way. Charitable solicitations. You have to have a license for that, as you've got to tell people who's collecting the money and where it's going. Otherwise, I just go door to door. I mean, why not?
Right.
Fire extinguisher service. It asks the applicants to prove they have appropriate certifications and insurance coverage, and when you really need a fire extinguisher, you kind of want it to work. Yeah. You don't want that fly-by-night fire insurance guy, fire extinguisher guy. Taxi and horse carriage. This is important because of the risk to the public. When I lived in Seattle, a pedicab guy lost control and his passenger died when he went down one of those steep Seattle hills. Mm-hmm. So you need to make sure that your operators know what the dickens they're doing. Hotels and motels need a specialty license. Pretty obvious there to prevent no-tell motels. We had a huge problem with that when I lived in Bellingham. Junk dealers, secondhand dealers, and pawnbrokers, they definitely need a license, and it's to prevent the sale of stolen goods.
That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And for pawnbrokers, they also limit the interest they can charge. Funny tidbit I learned when I helped a pawnbroker with their business, they're actually a better deal than a payday lender if you need money. So especially for
Kevin's
a short period of time.
Yep.
3% a month is what they're limited
right.
to. So that's 36% a year, but if you need it for a few months, that's not so
short
bad.
Term, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the one I got the biggest kick out of was tattoo. That focuses on health practices.
Yeah. Okay.
And it prohibits the operation of a tattoo parlor in conjunction with the sale of intoxicating beverages.
So you're not getting the tattoo you will regret later, perhaps.
What could possibly go wrong?
Which now, in a lot of places, that's the only reason that business would probably have business.
That's right. If you remember that old movie, The Hangover 2. Yeah.
All right.
That was actually where Mike Tyson made some money after his boxing career because he sued that movie for copying his design, and he won.
Yeah. Okay, so now the naughty list, though. These are the ones that perhaps you're required to have a license because we don't want you.
Right. Good luck getting one.
Right.
Adult entertainment, and we'll leave that there. Dance events for teenagers. Really don't want a lot of that going on. So a very extensive license there. I think you could get it, but boy, you'd be collecting a lot of data. Adult dance halls with liquor. Something else, that's a pretty old one, I think.
Yep.
And this one surprised me. Outdoor music festivals, that wasn't triggered by Woodstock. It was triggered by the disastrous outdoor music festivals in the late 70s and early 80s. You might remember State Line Gardens, where everybody tore it down.
Okay.
And there was another one in Ohio that had the same thing happen. It was on an island out in the river, and it was a disaster. Peddlers, hawkers, and transient merchants. We all know the problems there, and we don't want them. If you apply for one of those businesses, you're going to get a question like, we would like the names, addresses, telephone numbers, dates and places of birth, and social security numbers of any person having a financial interest, management responsibility, or employment in this business. So, yeah, the welcome mat's right out.
Yeah. Okay. That's very good. All right, on that note, we went the naughty list. We're going to come back, though, and I guess roll into our colorful past as we continue our discussion on our business bits with Kevin Holt. And again, a reminder, he's got his own website, which is fully licensed and appropriate.
100%.
KevinYourBusinessCoach.com. And by license, I mean he has it working right.
That's correct. I don't sell anything, so there's nothing to license.
You can get all of this information in podcasts of the old shows he's done and the current stuff as well. And you can ask a question, and he often will answer them on the show.
You get your question answered on the air. That's exactly right.
All right, we'll take a break. Be back with our colorful past right after this.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
This season, beat the holiday rush and shop Astound.com for bigger deals, bigger savings, and bigger internet. For a limited time, get Astound Internet for only $20 a month for 2 years. Plus, add 5G unlimited Astound Mobile free for 12 months. Our award-winning fiber-powered internet can handle it all. Faster streaming, better gaming, and secure online shopping. Lock in bigger savings than ever before at Astound.com. Restrictions apply. See Astound.com for details.
Come out to Olympic Game Farm. It's the home of the waving bears. Come out to Olympic Game Farm for some tender love and care. Now it's not impolite to stick out your tongue, considering the critters you'll be among. Come out to Olympic Game Farm. It's the home of the waving bears. The llama and the yak know you want to come back, and the tiger always gets a few stares. Come out to Olympic Game Farm. It's the home of the waving bears.
Ho, 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 ho. Hey, kids, it's me, Santa. Get ready, because I'll be in town for the 17th annual KONP Breakfast with Santa on Saturday, December 7th. Enter to win a chance to have a yummy breakfast served up by the elves of Kokopelli Grill, while I hand out fantastic toys, all brought to us by our presenting sponsors and very good boys and girls at Peninsula Bottling, Olympic Game Farm, Olympic Peninsula Title, and Leeds Farm Supply. Ho, 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 ho. Here's Rhonda, a reindeer in training, to tell you more.
Thanks, Santa. Adults enter your child age 8 and under to win 4 tickets to the Breakfast with Santa at the Port Angeles Senior Center. All winners will be notified by December 2nd. Doors open at 8 a.m. with yummy breakfast at 8:30. Enter now, because Santa's on his way.
In Squim, enter your child's name at Dungeness Kids Company, Olympic Game Farm, Leeds Farm Supply, and Carlsberg Shell Station.
This message is brought to you by the law firm of McMiniman and McMiniman, Port Angeles and Squim.
Hi, I'm Clement County Sheriff Brian King. The holidays are joyful with family gatherings and parties. Here's a reminder to celebrate responsibly. If alcohol is involved, arrange for a designated driver, and remember, friends don't let friends drive drunk. Don't let holiday joy be ruined by drinking and driving.
The law firm of McMiniman and McMiniman, protecting you and your family since 1985.
It's Business Bits Thursday, our last segment on Thursday's TO show, and that's when Kevin Holt comes in, talks a little bit about business. We've been talking about business licenses. Why you need one, why you don't, whether you like it or not. Port Angeles is requiring one next year if you come in. And it's relatively simple, by the way, for those who don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's check a box on your state business
Yes.
license when you renew it, and then they'll send you a bill for $190. But there you go. All right, we're going to move ahead. We're going to talk about our colorful past just a bit in this last segment.
Yeah, it ties in a little because we've talked a little bit about tourism and tourism business potential. And this is just one of those crazy things that happens when you do research on business licenses. You know, in spite of our modern efforts that we just talked about to have a little less colorful present, our past is a real hoot. We've spoken before about how the history of the North Olympic Peninsula can help us attract tourism dollars. And in researching Port Angeles business licenses, I inadvertently met 3 amazing people. The first person I met was in Gettysburg. No, not that Gettysburg. This Gettysburg was a town near the mouth of the Lyre River.
And you'll see it on maps.
You will.
It's a plotted out land part. Yeah.
This community was named after Robert Getty. He was a businessman in the lumber industry. I know that surprises everybody. He built a bunch of infrastructure at the river for the logging industry, and a town grew up around it. The town had a post office and steamboat connections to the Puget Sound area, which back then was a big deal.
Yeah.
And that post office was rocked by scandal by the next person I met. In 1912, Gettysburg Postmaster Ida Simmons was convicted of embezzling the equivalents of about $25,000 from the Gettysburg Post Office. Her punishment is quite unusual. She was sentenced to a 1-hour stay in prison.
1 hour?
1 hour.
Okay.
Now, I imagine getting stripped down, checked in, and bedded down there, even for an hour, would be pretty bad. The fun thing is, if you remember our embezzlement shows, Ida fit the profile.
She was the least suspected, right?
Yeah, woman in charge of money with no supervision. That's right. That post office stayed around until 1926, but the town was gone by the mid-'70s. All the structures and everything.
Yeah.
Then there was Smuggler Kelly. Kelly transported untaxed opium and undocumented Chinese laborers from Canada down into Washington across the strait. He was a prolific smuggler who worked the Strait, the North Peninsula, and into Puget Sound for 50 years. And the thing to remember was, this was the mid-1800s, so he was limited to sail power.
No motorboats.
No, they didn't exist yet. Steamboats existed, but you couldn't afford it. He'd worked all of these bodies of water transporting goods and evading capture in a sailboat. Just look at the weather this week. Would you like to go back with a boat full of Chinese people and opium?
Remember, they didn't predict weather then like they do now.
Nope. He retired in 1912, and he moved to Louisiana, where he lived out the rest of his days in a Confederate soldier's home. So, one last quick thing on tourism. With these exciting people in our history, and these were just people I stepped into by accident, I'll bet if you went to the North Peninsula Historical Society, you could really get a treasure trove. Let's look at a hypothetical $90,000 a year tourism business. So we remember that 3 million people visit the National Park and Forest each year. Now consider a market penetration of just 1/10 of 1%, 0.001. That penetration would bring your history tour business 3,000 customers. If you charged each one $30, your gross revenue is $90,000 a year. I think 1/10 of 1% is a pretty fair estimate. People usually talk about 2% market penetration for a startup. So tourists are here. They have money to spend. Who wants some?
And that interesting, colorful tourist pass.
Yep.
Tourists dig that.
Oh, they're out here. They're surrounded by all this beauty. What more exciting thing to do than learn about all these?
Smuggler Kelly.
That guy is insane. I mean, it's like I worked in Alaska briefly in Bristol Bay, and people used to fish with sailboats. I can't even imagine. Well, next time we talked about zombie debt. Next time I'll talk about resurrected debt. These are old bills that rise from the dead, and we'll talk about the why, the who, and how these debts are brought back to life. And I'll wrap up by telling you how you can put these resurrected debts down for good. Join us next time live and local on KONP's Business Bits.
Perfect. We're off next week. It's Thanksgiving.
Yes, it is.
So in 2 weeks, we'll be
indeed.
diving into feel like we should have done that on Halloween, but maybe not. Yeah, resurrected tech. All right, Kevin, thanks for coming in. Always
Pleasure.
great to talk to you. Go to kevinyourbusinesscoach.com. You can contact him there. You can also read the show notes and take a look at past shows as well. Lots of great information there from Kevin, and we'll do it again in a couple of weeks. All right?
Have a great Thanksgiving.
You too.
Thank
All right,
you.
Kevin Holt there. We're going to take a break. News coming up next.
Your community-minded friends at First Fed bring you the Community Corner, highlighting good things happening right here in our area.
This weekend, the Fa La 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 Llama Christmas Bazaar and Swap Meet will be at the Sequim Masonic Lodge. It benefits the Olympic Peninsula Alpaca Rescue. Take holiday photos with an alpaca or llama. Get fabulous items from vendors. And there's a silent auction, raffle items, and delicious bake sale items. The Fa La 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 Llama Christmas Bazaar this weekend, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Sequim Masonic Lodge. And Saturday in Port Angeles, it's Winterfest at the Vern Burton Center. Winterfest is the annual fundraiser supporting winter sports education at Hurricane Ridge. Get your tickets now for Winterfest Saturday, $80 in advance, $95 at the door. You can purchase tickets online at hurricaneridge.com.
Community Corner, presented by First Fed.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
We're your holiday hub for unbeatable bargains at your local Coastal.
Coastal Farm and Ranch, we're just what the country needs.
Visit us from Wednesday, November 20th through Monday, November 25th and save before Black Friday. Check out our toy selection for the latest arrivals and find the perfect activity for your energetic child, like farm hoppers, inflatable bouncy toys that come as a pig, cow, or unicorn. And we haven't forgotten about your pets. Give your best buds a reason to celebrate with buy one, get one 50% off all pet treats from brands like Bacon Strips, Pepperoni, and Nulo. Prepare your wardrobe for new temperatures with new offers and apparel, including a free $20 Coastal gift card when you buy a pair of Ariat boots for men or women in store. Discover great discounts like these store-wide and online.
Coastal Farm and Ranch, we're just what the country needs.
Catch Black Friday deals today and save even more at Coastal.
It's the Fa La 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 Llama Christmas Bazaar and Swap Meet this weekend. Trot down to the Sequim Masonic Lodge Saturday and Sunday for the Christmas Bazaar, benefiting the Olympic Peninsula Alpaca Rescue. Take holiday photos with an alpaca or llama. Shop for fabulous holiday items like handmade local fiber products. There's also a silent auction, raffle, and delicious bake sale. The Fa La 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 Llama Christmas Bazaar, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. this weekend at Sequim Masonic Lodge.
Support the arts and enjoy exclusive benefits by becoming a member of Field Arts and Events Hall. Your membership earns you early ticket access, invitations to members-only special events, and public recognition for your support. Membership starts at just $100 a year. Sign up before October 15th for early access to spring and summer 2025 shows. What are you waiting for? Learn more at fieldhallevents.org/membership.
Rely on us for complete news coverage. We're News Radio